even now I'm feeling like, how many people attended doesn't matter, but, hello? Yeah, so how many people attended doesn't matter, but even if one person out of this crowd has followed whatever I'm saying, and that makes me very much happy person. So the topic which I'm going to talk is make happiness a way of life. So I would be sharing few of my real life experiences with you all, and you might be asking, like, as you know that the mythology topic, and people are not interested, and these all things are obviously there, but after seeing this crowd, and I say I might be wrong. And the topic which I would be talking now is so you might be asking, like, how I gathered this all information. So what I do is, like, I do read Bhagavad Gita, and I do listen Ramayana and Mahabharata in my regional language Telugu, and I gathered information from there. And when I was reading and listening these all Ramayana and Mahabharata, then people used to tell me, like, why are you spending your precious time at this young age? So I used to amuse, and I used to think, like, okay, I still continued anyway. I didn't say anything. Surprisingly, one day my wife also said to me that, I wish that you would not become a monk one day after. So in front of my family is what she was saying, and then I laughed. Because I used to listen like a mad person, like 5 hours a day, you can imagine. Whenever I get time, I used to plug earphones and I used to listen. And later on, I realized that this is not only one age group stuff. This is the stuff which each and every age group person or all humankind should follow. So later on, why I'm saying this is because I have gathered some information which is, like, controlling senses and how to behave and these all things. If I learn these all things at the age of 70 or 80, and when would I implement this? So if I, learn these all things at a very young age, like, even now I regret that, I should have known these all things maybe 15 years back. Now I'm 33 or 34. So if I knew earlier, maybe I would have focused more, and I would have, met my goals properly, and I would have reached to some different level, I feel. But nevertheless, this is not a late time anyway, I feel. So what my learnings I would be explaining you all now, and I have a question for you all now. So what do you think that, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said to Arjuna that how to control senses. So does anyone has any idea that, how to control your senses? What Lord Krishna has said. So Lord Krishna has given an example by showing an animal, saying that, you should control your senses like that. So does anyone know in this group, except Nidhi, because she was there in my dry run. Yeah.
So I guess to come closer to your inner consciousness.
You have
Yeah.
something?
Like asked about animal.
Yeah. He showed some animal, and he said that we should learn a lot from that. So what is that?
It's not animal, but is it swan?
Yeah. Sorry, what's that?
It's swan.
That is one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So what Lord Krishna said about controlling senses is we should learn a lot from tortoise. So if something goes wrong around tortoise, and it takes its head back and it all senses back, like legs and everything under the shell, and it makes sure that nothing happens. So for example, even a stone falls on it, a big stone, nothing happens because the shell is very strong. So the same way, we should also control our senses so that we could reach to a different level where we are now. So to give you some example, I would be telling, like, what are all the senses we have. So everyone knows, like, eyes, nose, ears, and tongue, that is taste, and the skin. So these all are our 5 sense organs. We should say that, we do say in Sanskrit, Panchendriya. So we should control our senses so that, we could lead a, happy life. So how to control our senses, I would be telling in my, later on session now. And so why I'm saying controlling senses is that, if you look at your eyes, so that is one of your sense organs, and if you look at my face for a second, like 20 or 30 seconds, and if you close it, and you would see my image, that means mind has a power of remembering everything, whatever we see. So it stores everything in its mind database. So the frame, whatever you see, and that would stay for some time, but the things, whatever we watch, it stays for a longer time and it would be saved in my database. So one day, what, I don't have to tell what to watch and what not, because we as a social media, we can see like a lot of things which are, I don't have to tell anything even what to watch and what to not, because we get like 70 to 80% useless things in our social media. So we should have a control on what we watch, so that we always give only good things to our senses. And there is an example as well, like in mythology, it says like a mother takes care of her children by giving all soft toys, and she never gives any sharp objects like a knife or maybe a blade or something, so that child would hurt. So we should also treat our senses like a small child. So we have our sense organs and we know what are they. And we should also treat them like a child, because if you tell a child that something which shouldn't be tell, he would also say the same thing back. So the same way, so our mind will remember everything, and it would try to make it possible. So for example, our subconscious mind has a power of remembering everything, whatever we watch. And we watch a lot of things, and those goes to subconscious mind, and it will make us aggressive. And the subconscious mind always thinks about, okay, I have seen this and I should make it possible one day. And it will wait for that day, and it will try to show its real color, and that is the day when everyone is losing their control and things are going in a very bad manner. So that is the thing which we have to have control on our senses. That is the most important thing. Maybe it's a little boring stuff, but this is very interesting thing, and we should follow it. Because still now, as I said, like I really regret that. I should have known these all things very long back. Maybe it would help me a lot. And so I have another question. What is your way of a happy life? What do you think? Like how can you lead a happy life? Or how are you leading a happy life? I guess everyone is happy here, right?
By having work-life balance.
Work-life balance, okay. And yes, everyone would be having their own examples. Please speak out. I don't want to be only one-man show here, so I want everyone to be speaking here. Thank you, Nita.
Having lesser expectations.
Lesser expectations, that makes your thing satisfaction.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Okay, by yoga and meditation.
I would say that I will be happy if I give 100% to whatever I do, whether it's my work, my personal life, or maybe yoga, meditation, but whatsoever, whatever you're doing, if I'm able to give my 100% to it, I would be a happy person.
So if you ask me the same question, I really appreciate the people who ever said that. I do agree with them. Some people say I like buying a car, and I like having a lavish life, and I like spending some time with somewhere. And these all things are really appreciated, and as a human we should definitely enjoy our life. Maybe trekking or going foreign here and there, and these all things are mandatory things. Everyone should do it. But as on top of that, I feel like we should have a boundaries. So we should know what are all our standards, and we should set some rules around our whatever the belief which we have, and we should make sure that we should never cross the boundaries. So that way we can lead a very happy life. So I would try to tell, I'm talking a lot about good and bad and these all things, right? So you might be asking what is good, how to determine what is good and what is not. So I would try to tell what is good and what is not in my way. Before that, I would tell if you see in Ramayana and Mahabharata, and you can see Sri Rama and Yudhishthira and Arjuna, and there are a lot of people. They showed us how to lead a happy life, or maybe they are a kind of idle people, and it is little difficult to follow them, to be frank. But our rishis and monks, they have little simplified these all things, whatever they did in their life. Because Sri Rama, we feel like he's God, but he led a life like a normal human being, and he was also having an anger like us. But how did he control it? His senses, that matters to us. So he used to listen everyone's opinion, and then he used to think what is good, what is dharma, and then only he used to follow the dharma thing, whatever is being told in Vedas. So that is the way we should lead our life. So now I would be telling the 3 rules which I found after all reading and this, spending a lot of times, which are like we should draw these all boundaries to our life and lead a happy life. So the first one, you know what? I'm going to ask questions as well, so you should remember these all things. And unfortunately, I would be appreciating the people whoever says correct answers, but there are no goodies. The first one is, before doing anything, try to make a habit of thinking twice that whether I should be able to tell this to 10 people, whoever is around me or not. For example, I'm picking a phone which is, unattended. So that is I'm thieving, I'm acting like a thief. I'm stealing it. So would I be able to tell it to 10 people? No, right? So if I'm watching something which is not allowed to watch, and would I be able to tell it to 10 people? No, because it is not a correct thing. So we should always think whenever you do something before that, and we should feel like, okay, whether I should be able to tell it to 10 people or not. So that you would tend to do only good things, because I have applied it in my life, and I would be sharing few of the silly examples even in my life which I have done. So maybe to give you some more example as well, like for example, if you if you see that in my real life example, so what I have done is I have I wanted a notebook, and in our office itself. So what I did is I went to stationery and I took 2 of them. They look very nice, like black color, and they were like polished, very good. So I picked 2 of them, and I kept one on my drawer, and the other one I kept in my bag. So we always, as a human, feel like, okay, no one is watching us, anyway I can do anything, because that is the human nature. So we should always think that there is one person sitting on top of your chest, and he always or she always watches whatever we do. So he knows, and we think that we can cheat anyone, we can cheat even cameras, but he knows, he remembers everything, or she remembers everything. So that way you cannot escape, and it would definitely plant a situation where you would be caught one day. So we should have that kind of fear towards whatever we as a human do. So if we believe that, so that day what happened, I continued, and later on I felt like, what I'm doing, and it's not a correct way. And obviously, don't think that, I'm saying, so I do make n number of mistakes, and you might be 100% better than me. And I would say, like, I might be the worst person among this group, but I'm trying to explain the situation, how it happened. So that day I kept it back, and I'm really ashamed to tell in front of you in this group that what I have done, because that is not the way ideal person should be, because that is the way I made a mistake, and I realized later on, and I kept it back, but still I am feeling very guilty. So try to imagine whether whatever you do, try to imagine that whether you would be able to tell to 10 people or not. If it is not possible, try to make it as a habit of telling to your mother or your wife or your husband whenever you do anything. Make it as a habit. For example, if I am watching something or something without telling to anyone, whether it is not allowed to watch, and would I be able to tell to in front of 10 people? No. If I make some other mistake, and you know what, to find out what you are really, when you are alone, no one is watching you, when you feel, for example, if you are locked in a room, and when you believe that no one is watching you, and that is what you are. So we should find out a situation, what you do when you are alone, and when you feel that no one is watching you. So that, we do a lot of things, to be frank, if you ask me, I do a lot of things, but maybe some of you do very noble things, but we do some mistakes, and we should identify what we do, and what is good and what is not. And that is the trigger point. If you have the trigger, then it is very easy to follow these all rules, whatever I'm saying. So try to make it as a habit, and you could really have a happy life by following this. And the very second rule, which I would be telling, is there is a shloka in Sanskrit, Matruvat Paratareshu Paradravyani lostavat atmavat sarvabhuteshu. That means, nowadays, in a world even, people treat their mother only as a mother and sister only as sister, and they feel like no one in the world is not, belong to any other relation. So here the sloka says, the rishis, it's like, I feel like if I see the person and I feel like I should bow to him, because the way they have written these lines are really good. Matvat Pradareshu is, we should treat a woman like a mother. Whoever is beside to us, we should treat as a mother. So that, you can see that, in outside, if you open the newspapers, and I don't have to tell anything, but the way people are growing up, and even the grown-up people or older people, and the way they do things, like, very bad. So to get it out of this kind of thinking, we should have a rule saying to ourselves, saying that Matvat Pradhareshu, we should always treat a woman like a mother, so that we never have, no one has any thoughts, and women can, lead a happy life, and we can respect, and everything goes on, and everything, the habits and everything goes from there. So I feel that kind of attitude should be there. And the second line which says is Paradravyani lostavat. That means, like, most of the problems comes because of this jealous feeling. Someone having car, someone having hi-fi house or something else, and he has big salary, or maybe he has a lot of money in his pocket. So this is jealous. So if we have this all jealous and these all, and definitely we would not, go anywhere. End of the day, we would have some trouble. So to reduce these kind of attitudes, and we should treat others' money as a trash. And if it is not belongs to you, and you don't have to care about it. That doesn't mean that, you take someone's phone or something, and throw it in trash. So I mean to say that, we should always, respect others' properties and treat it as others' property. And this is not your property, right? So this kind of attitude we should have. And the third one, which is Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu. That means that, we should treat ourselves in other shoes before judging someone. For example, if I'm throwing a stone on a dog, and feel yourself, because you can see a lot of dogs sitting over there. I feel like, sometimes they are also doing IT job. So, so this way, so we should identify, like, if you are throwing a stone at a dog, and you should feel that yourself like a, if you are as a dog, and if someone is throwing a stone on you, and how would you feel? So these three rules are most important. Treat a woman as a mother, and treat others' money as a trash, and try to be in other shoes before judging someone or punishing someone or doing something to someone. And the other third rule and simple rule which I would be telling is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So that means you hear this in our Hindu marriages a lot. Dharma means truthfulness and justice and these all things. Artha is cash, and Kama is, like, everyone knows, but it's not only the women and men Kama, and this is a desire of having something or eating something, and this could be a Kama as well. And Moksha is like the self-actualization level, which is like, if you follow this all, and you would reach to a higher level. So what my logic here is, we should always tie up Artha with Dharma, and Kama with also Dharma. That means if you are satisfying your desire of buying a desired car, so you should always tie up with Dharma, so that you're not satisfying or earning money in a Adharma way, or going to betting, or doing all the other things like cheating someone, and these all kind of attitudes. So we shouldn't do it. Obviously, you can do it, but end of the day, someday we will be caught, and we would have to answer in front of that same 20 people or 10 people, and they would be expecting answers from you. And that day, if you are telling lies, definitely you would be caught. So it's better. So it's better that we should, whatever we do, and we should think twice that whatever you are doing, good or bad, and think twice before doing, so that we would never make any mistakes. And the other one I would like to conclude. So I'm running out of time. So the conclusion which I would be telling here is that I learned a lot of things. Like, I could not put all the things in these 20 minutes, but I would say like, I have seen like 2 to 3 kind of people in the world now. So one is like few people know something and they don't follow anything. I knew a lot of people, and few people doesn't know anything and they don't follow anything. I'm pity on them. But the last one is few people know something and follow something. So I want all of us to have in that category where we know something and we follow something and we have some boundaries to our life and stick to that boundaries, treat the same ways like, others' money as trash and treating women as mother, and, these all kind of whatever I do and try to tell it to some people. These are like, few of the cherry on top topics which I have picked off out of my learnings, and I just try to fit all them in this session. So if you want, you can follow. I'm not pointing anyone. Really, I'm saying like if I really hurt you, and just don't take it to your heart. So I try to tell these all things are my real life experiences, and if you follow even one point out of these all topics, and I would be a pretty much happy person, I would say. So this is what it is. And do I have time or?
We have time for Q&A, but we
Yeah.
come to that.
So this is what I want to say. So yes, and now you can ask me questions, and I would try to tell if I knew. And one more thing, and if you really have some problems or anything, you just contact me in Slack and try to talk to me. And it's not only me, I would say, like, we are not only here to work, and we are here to just complete 7 hours or 8 hours and go home. No, we are here to make some friends, and we are also here to make friends and do work and make some friends and talk to cross teams, not only with our teams, like make a bond with everyone and talk to them, and so that we would have a lot of motivation to come to office. Just not only sitting at home and feeling bored to come office. I never feel bored to come office. I really like to see you all, and I like your faces. So that is the reason I'm here for 5 years. And few of my colleagues say that you are here for 5 years and are you not ashamed? And even still I say like, yes, I never ashamed because I like being here and you guys are very nice. And yeah, that's what it is. So really, yeah. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you, Vasu. Guys, any questions? Yes.
So, yes, the Shastras, the Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, they all talk about good and bad. Basically, they're talking in absolutes. But reality is never good or bad, it's mostly in between. So, who defines, or how do you define the boundaries that you mentioned? Define the boundaries. Because going by absolutes is not practicality. So, how, in real life, how do we define these boundaries?
So, that's a good question. As I answered in that, like, I have given boundaries by thinking, like, whatever I do, I try to think, like, whether I would be able to tell it to few people around me. So you might be doing a lot of things at home, but you would not be able to share to this all crowd of people. So maybe I would do a lot of things at my home, but I would try to think that whether I would be telling, whether I would be able to tell it to 10 people or not. So spending some private life, private time with my wife is obviously allowed, because that is the reason I am married to her. Because that is the reason there is a dharma between me and my wife. So I'm sticking to that. But spending some private time with someone else is not. So you should imagine, like, if I spend some private time with someone else, and would I be able to tell in front of you all, and you would slap me. So that way identify, like, what is good and what is good. So try to identify, just make it a habit, like, telling to few people around us. Like, maybe trying to tell to Ravi or maybe mother or someone else. Try to tell it to everyone who is around you. And nothing wrong in telling or sharing whatever you do. And this is really, good habit. You can tell everything to everyone. So we are not making or doing anything wrong, right? So what is so wrong in telling everything to everyone? So that's what it is. Anyone has any other questions? But I'm saying no, yeah, so if you really like this, the session, maybe I would try something, something else as well. Like I would take only one topic and I would try to, have a discussion around it as well. But I will plan if you like it. But try to, take at least 1 or 2 points, and if you like, and try to memorize them. I'm really begging you all, and it's really helpful. When I learned this all, sometimes I felt like, tears were rolling in my eyes, because these all are the basic things which we never taught and we never heard even. maybe some people are great here, that they know it, but I never heard it, and I felt very, very ashamed. So maybe, yeah, it's all up to you.